Hello and welcome to Hank Games Without Hank. It's me, your host, John Green. We are the Swindon Town Swoodly Poopers, and we are playing Wigan Athletic, who are at the top of the championship table at the moment, Wigan Athletic, and they are also our hated rivals, as you will no doubt remember from our epic game in the FA Cup semifinal. So if we win this game, we will be in the top five in the championship, and we will also take Wigan Athletic out of the lead, which would be awesome. So, I used the Y button, but ineffectively. I'm going to talk to you today about NanoWriMo, and my experience with NanoWriMo, which is called Zombie Corns. But first, I'm going to bring you up to date on the squad. Today we have, oh boy, that was poor performance by me. We have John Green, other John Green. Bald John Green's on the bench today, I believe. Well, actually, maybe both John. I don't. I'm not going to bring you up to date on the squad. Who are we kidding? I don't know who I'm playing. I'll tell you one thing. Leroy Williamson's in the game. He scores occasionally. But unnecessary slide tackle. So, if, for those of you who don't know, NaNoWriMo is a thing that some people do where they write a novel in a month. It's a really interesting idea, particularly for those of us who can't write novels in like 2 or 3 years. Basically, the idea is that you know, through like focus and effort, you write the story that you've always wanted to write, and and you do it in a month because most of us can't devote long stretches of time to writing novels. Thousands of people do this every year, and well, I guess hundreds of thousands probably try, and then thousands finish. I have tried twice, but only seriously, only with any level of seriousness once, which was I think 2 years ago. I was really struggling with my new book, the book that eventually became The Fault in Our Stars, but at the time was not very similar to The Fault in Our Stars. Although, you know, it's hard to say when one book ends and another begins because I crib a lot from, you know, like I was writing this desert island novel. Obviously, The Fault in Our Stars doesn't take place on a desert island and doesn't have very much to do with like, you know, the acquisition of coconuts. But um, but even so, I used a lot of stuff from that story in The Fault in Our Stars because they, you know, they had some similarities. So I apologize for my poor play, by the way. I'm trying to focus on scoring, and when I say scoring, I mean scoring with Leroy Williamson. Leroy Williamson, he scores occasionally. Come on, buddy. Oh. So when I try, oh no, Leroy Williamson, wide of the net. When I tried to write, I'm sorry I hurt you, Charles Nzogbia. I promise it wasn't on purpose. When I tried to write, so basically I felt like I was in such a rut with writing and that I was so far away from ever writing a novel that could be published. And I was worried that, you know, my career was over. By the way, that tackle was made by one size fits all. And I was worried, you know, that like I wouldn't be able to publish anything ever again. And of course, that was a big problem because, well, for one thing, I'm not good at anything else, so I don't have any other way of like, you know, buying diapers. But also because I really love writing, and it was really horrifying to think that, you know, I couldn't do it anymore. At least not in the way I wanted to. So I decided to try to free myself and try to, you know, reimagine myself as a writer by saying I'm not going to be the kind of writer who writes a book in 3 years. I'm going to be the kind of writer who writes a book in a month. And that was what I was thinking when I decided to attempt NaNoWriMo for myself. I ended up proving that I am indeed also not the kind of writer who can write a book in a month. Oh, great ball. Very promising ball. It just didn't quite work out for the boys that time. So I decided to write a zombie apocalypse novel that was going to be focused on corn monoculture and the dangers of it, I guess. And it was super fun to write, and it was really liberating because I didn't have to try to write. I wasn't for the first time. I wasn't. Is that the end of the first half? Wow, 0-0 against Wigan Athletic. I wasn't trying to write a great novel. I was just trying to really have fun writing again and remind myself that, you know, at its base, both writing and reading should be fun, right? They should be entertaining. That's the real job of a book. The first job of a book is to be fun and good and entertaining. So Oh, Leroy Williamson, what a great tackle. And then he shoots, and he doesn't score. Um, so that's what I was really trying to do. And on that front, I mean, it was sort of successful because I did have a lot of fun writing that story, a lot of fun, and and but on the front of writing a good story, it was completely unsuccessful. And I think there are occasionally publishable novels that come out of NanoWriMo. And, you know, obviously the bulk of any writing experience is not in the initial writing of a first draft if it's in revision. So on that level, you know, it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't really matter how long you take to write the first draft because the experience is going to be primarily an experience of revision. Um, all that noted, I think it's really hard to even write the kind of thing that you can turn into a publishable book in a month because your focus has to be on finishing and on completion and on time and less on, you know, oh, I hit the wrong button, and less on the things that, you know, like writing a great story that will entertain your readers. But that said, like as much as I continue to think that like Zombiecorns is an example of a really really bad zombie apocalypse novella, there's a lot of support for it in Nerdfightarian. There's a lot of people who read it who really liked it. For those of you who don't know, I ended up releasing I ended up finishing a story, although not a 50,000 word story. Now we're gonna have to defend against a free kick, which is not Fat Lucas's specialty, it must be said. Oh boy, off the post. Oh, whew, lucky times here in Swindon town. Oh, we can't. We're so bad at passing. Um, but I ended up releasing. I ended up like finishing Zombiecorns and releasing it as a work for the Project for Awesome. And I've thought in the past about maybe trying to write a zombie apocalypse, at least short story for every Project for Awesome, as something that you can get if you donate $10 or something to the Project for Awesome. But I don't know. I don't really have any zombie apocalypse ideas. Actually, I do. That's a lie. I do have a zombie apocalypse idea at the moment, but it's kind of a sequel to Zombicorns. Not sure I really want to force people to read that crappy story in order to read another one. But yeah, that's the. Come on, Leroy Williamson. We're in the 75th minute. It's still 0-0. We really need a goal here. This would be a. You guys have been hard on me as the manager. You've questioned my managing style, and the main issue that you have is that you feel like when we're playing opposition who are clearly better than us, I have excessively high expectations on the team. And Wigan Athletic is a team that is, at least in terms of numbers, a lot better than we are. They are, they've got better players. So, and they've got guys like Charles and Zogbia. But I mean, that's my managing style. But I'm starting to think that maybe I shouldn't be trusted with the Swoodly Poopers, and that it needs to be a more collaborative effort. But more on that later. I am going to try. Well, it's too late now. I should have made a substitution. I'm going to make a substitution quick. You know who I'm going to bring in? I'm going to take out Stone Cold Steve with the C. Austin, who's had a nothing of a game, and I'm going to bring in Bald John Green. They love to play together up front, John Green and John Green, if you catch my drift. All right, so the boys are coming in. Let's just get off the field. There we go. 5 solid minutes of Bald John Green. Can it make all the difference? Can the Swoodly Poopers get the goal they so desperately need on our hopefully inexorable march to the Premier League? Although it's increasingly likely that we're going to be back in the championship for a second season. I apologize for that, but I'm just not that good, and that's not my fault. I'm practicing, and I'm just not that good. So I'm going to need you guys, I think, to make me better. Ball John Green! He's not a finisher! What? I'm telling you, pre-injury Ball John Green puts that ball in the net 10 times out of 10. Maybe 11 times out of 10. There might be one time when he puts the ball in the net twice in that situation. Oh, and we just ran out of time. Look at Ball John Green. He's got a breakaway, but the game is over. Thanks for watching. I'll try to do better next time. 0-0 tie against Wigan Athletic, who are admittedly at the top of the championship. So, you know, we're not going to be able to score that many goals on them. But next time, we will get you, Wigan Athletic. Thanks for watching, Hank Games, and as always, best wishes.